Hi folks, Melissa Ruther here from the Wisconsin K-12 Energy Education Program, or KEEP. Thank you so much for joining us at Boston School Forest, whether you're at home or in the classroom. Today's energy outdoors activity is perfect for a fall day. We're going to be exploring how and where the wind blows.
Before we can get started, I would like to recognize that Boston School Forest occupies lands of the First Nations. With a passion for connecting people to their natural and cultural resources, I would like for us to take a moment and appreciate the land I'm on here at Boston School Forest, but also the lands on which you live, and celebrate and honor the original people who stewarded this land for generations. Thank you.
Using energy on a cool fall day like today might look a little bit different than it would if it was a sunny summer day. But there's a really great way we can figure out whether or not energy is being used. Here at Boston School Forest, or in your classroom, or at home, we can look for evidence of energy, or proof that it's occurring or being used. The 4 evidences of energy that we can look for: movement, heat, sound, and light. Okay, so what does that look like? Well, you and me, we're great examples. Right now, you can see me moving my hands, moving my lips, wiggling around. So there's movement. You also can hear me talking to you as we're chit-chatting about this awesome place and this wonderful topic today. Not only that, if you were to be bebopping around like I am, especially on a cool day, you might get really warm from moving around and having layers on. So I'm also producing heat. So just myself, I've got movement and heat and sound going on. But what about light? Unlike lightning bugs, I'm not gonna glow, right? But the sun, even though the rays aren't shining down on me today, it's out. And that's what allows us to see what's going on out here. So now that we know what those 4 evidences of energy are, we want to look around and see, are there any great evidences? Are there any great energy sources being used here today at Boston School Forest? There sure is. If you were to look around, you'd realize it's wind.
So what is wind? Wind is actually just air in motion. So the sun, our largest source of energy, sends its rays down to the planet. These rays will heat up the land, and because there's a lot of different types of landscapes, there's an uneven heating that happens across the planet. Where the land is warmer, it will create the air above it to warm up as well. So that warm air rises. Well, as warm air rises, cool air falls. And that motion from warm air rising, cool air falling will create that wind, as you can see here.
Now that we know how the wind is formed, that the wind is a source of energy, and we know those 4 evidences of energy, we can use all of that to figure out if the wind is blowing by us. So what I want you to do is I want you to find a sit spot. I found mine. You can be indoors or outdoors. If you're inside, you can just look out of a window, but you want to be able to observe outside. Observe those outdoors. And I want you to look for those 4 evidences of energy. I want you to look for movement, sound, heat, and light to see or observe if the wind is blowing. And what you can do, make a list. You can think about it in your head, or you can talk to others that are with you about those different evidences and how you know the wind is blowing by you.
I am able to see that the wind is blowing the leaves, I can hear it rustling in the trees, and I can feel it on my face.
Now that we know that the wind is indeed blowing, we found the evidence that the wind is blowing, what direction is it going? Is it going straight across? Is it going up or down? Is it blowing really hard, or is it a light, gentle breeze? We can find out by exploring bubbles. So today you need to gather a few supplies to make your bubbles. We need a bowl of some kind to mix in. We need 2 cups of hot water. We need 1/4 cup of dishwashing liquid, 1/4 cup of sugar, a whisk or something to mix with, and then we need bubble blowers. So if you don't have a bubble wand stored away somewhere, you can use something like a paper towel roll or a toilet paper roll, or you can go and grab some pipe cleaner, and I'll show you what you can do with it to turn it into a wand. So these are the supplies you're going to need to make and blow bubbles. Now that you've gathered your supplies, let's get started on making those bubbles. Grab your bowl and your warm water. Put your water in your bowl, and you're going to add your 1/4 cup of sugar. Now whisk well. And this might take a little bit, but mine's dissolving pretty quickly because I got pretty warm water, which is good. Once all of that sugar is dissolved, you can stop and put in your dishwashing liquid. Now, whisk again. Whisk, whisk, whisk. Look, I'm already creating bubbles. Whisk, whisk, whisk. Make sure you get it nice and mixed up. It might splash a little bit, so be careful. Nice and foamy. And then, once you have it nice and mixed up, it's time to see if you can blow bubbles using it. So again, if you don't have a bubble wand at home, you can use something like a paper towel roll or a toilet paper roll, or you can use something like a pipe cleaner. You can take your pipe cleaner and you can make one end kind of look like a spoon. So lasso it around and twist. And then you have a bubble wand. Dip it in there. You should be able to see some of that liquid on there, and the wind today is just strong enough to blow bubbles for me. Pretty awesome. So which way are those bubbles going? Well, right now the wind is blowing directly at me. So those bubbles are going right behind me. So try this, and you don't just want to try it in one area. Find a few different spots to try it in. So here where I am, I'm getting blown, the wind is blowing directly at me. So that's why my bubbles are going straight back. But if you check different areas, maybe the wind is going different directions. So let's check it out. While you're out blowing bubbles, one thing you can do to get a little bit of movement in is you can chase them. So have a partner blow bubbles for you and see, are you as fast as a bubble? Today we explored how wind is formed. We looked at how do we know this invisible force, this source of energy is around us. And we used some household things to figure out where is it going. We looked at how our friend the sun helps warm up the earth, warming the air, which lets air rise, bringing in cool air to help form wind. We found that there's 4 evidences of energy: movement, sound, heat, and light. You can use 3 of those, to investigate or explore or observe the wind. We can hear the wind rustle in the trees. We can see the wind blow a flag or blow leaves around, and we can feel it on our skin. Then we looked at bubbles and how we can use bubbles to see what direction the wind is going. Is this a good place to put a wind chime for music? Is this a good place to build a wind turbine to make electricity? So now it's up to you. Go out and find other ways to investigate. What questions do you have about the wind? Time to go out and take your own observations. Thank you so much for joining us here at Boston School Forest.